Corporate recruiter here to review your resumes. I am sick, so I'm going to be extra harsh in my reviews today. And well, that's just the way it is. Also, I might miss stuff, but if your resume is good enough to get past a sick recruiter who is feeling terrible, then guess what? You have a really good resume because it's entirely possible that the manager or recruiter themselves is sick and will make these same errors. So, I do more than tech, but tech is in a huge downturn, so this is mostly tech. But you can submit any type of resume that you want, and I will review it. So this is for a data engineer. What we need in a data engineer, we need Python, ETL or ELT, Scala, data algorithm, SQL, big data, any of those, cloud, data X, so in this case like data models, data lakes, data warehouses, Snow, any Snow, the ability to manage and communicate data plans to non-technical people. So basically, can you describe to a very sick recruiter what you do? If so, that's actually a qualification. The industry, so the actual industry is going to change, and like SDLC versus, I don't know, like pin cushions or something. And then a bonus for Jira, DevOps, Confluence, and MS Office. So recruiters and hiring teams only have 20 seconds to find what we need. And with the full disclosure that I am a U.S.-based recruiter and have gotten people jobs outside of the U.S. before, in Canada, Mexico, I think Singapore, Africa, and the UK and the EU. Most of this advice is for the US. So it does translate, but it's never a one-to-one translation. So 20 seconds, can I find this? We do not know how good this resume is because they did not include their application to interview ratio. And start. All right. Built data pipelines, warehouses, good. Pulling from payment marketing systems. Okay, I need a little bit more. Wrote Python scripts, pulled data from marketing, Airflow, DAC. I don't know if I need that one. Ran Spark, JSON, and Parquet. There's a lot of stuff I don't need. BigQuery I need, SQL I need, Looker dashboard data engagement, met with marketing, and all right, time. This is not the worst resume ever, right? I'm not going to say this is a garbage resume that you need to delete this all. Your formatting is good. This is also my formatting. This is what your resume should look like. The problem is the bullet points are mid. I think this will get you some interviews, but a big issue with this primarily is that they're too wide, right? Like you have slightly too many bullet points and not quite enough of these qualifications in them. So what you want to do ideally is have between 3 to 8 bullet points. Now, 8 is the maximum. And in this case, for this person, I think they could do it in 4 to 5 because they've only been there since February, which is almost 2 years. Probably will be 2 years by the time this video comes out. And, you know, you don't need to say 8 bullet points for somebody that's been there for 2 years, right? That's not enough. If you've been there for 10 years, then yeah, definitely. But I like most of the first sentence. The problem is I need a little bit more. So I like, let me highlight this real quick. So I like data pipelines. I like cloud data warehouse, but I also want to know what kind of cloud. Is this AWS? So what you should say, and AWS or GCP or X data warehouses. And then I need a little bit more, right? Like, built data pipelines and cloud data warehouses by writing SQL to transform, writing SQL queries to pull from payment and marketing systems. So again, the rest of this is fine. I just think you can fit in 1 or 2 more of the keywords here. So to let everybody know, if this is your first time, what recruiters are looking for are not keywords, right? Like, I know that sounds weird based on what I just said, but a keyword is a skill, either a hard skill or a soft skill that the hiring team needs. So in this case, these are those. The problem is you can't just write those randomly. You need to write them in the form of a qualification, which is what you did, which can be considered a keyword, how you did it, the reason or result of you doing it, and where you did it. Those 4 things make a qualification. So I just need a little bit more, in this case, keywords. And I'll be honest, most people mess up on not showing how they did it or the reason or result. That is not a problem with this. You just need to condense your keywords a little bit. Then here, wrote Python scripts. Good. To pull data from payment and marketing APIs. Is APIs necessary? I don't think that's really one that I saw. And again, I don't know if Airflow or DAGs is something I need. Again, this may be a difference between Canada and the US, but in the US, this is probably not as related. So the problem is you only have one keyword thing that I'm looking for here, and you want a minimum of 3. Here, you only have 2. But it's a good explanation. Rand Spark, I think that is something I am looking for. Yeah, that is good. That is big data. So Spark jobs convert large JSON events. I don't think that's really what I'm looking for. Into Parquet formats. What is Parquet? Uploading to cloud storage. Again, what kind of cloud? So BigQuery, which again, I don't know if I'm actually looking for BigQuery. So again, you only have 1 here. And this is sort of the problem. Wrote SQL, good. API, don't care, nothing, 1. So again, you just kind of need to crunch this up because nobody's got time to read all of these. And you've only got 1 or 2 in. But the reason and result of this is fine. I actually really like how you wrote the how and the reason and result. Those are very, very good. And then we have BigQuery, which you already mentioned, so you don't need to mention it again. Looker, which is good, but again, it's all the way down here. Dashboards. Sorry. Which Looker is one needed? Looker? I don't know if it is. Maybe it is and I missed it. But giving again, you just don't have enough. Like these are too broad. You just need to crunch them together. But otherwise, the idea of this is right. And honestly, I don't think it's going to take you more than maybe an hour to fix this max. But yeah, so that is part of the main problem with this resume is just quite frankly, there's not enough keywords in each individual one. So they're going to lose interest at about like this one and not fully get it. When you can easily combine everything here into this part, like you could probably fit everything you need into here. Let's see, what did this person say? This is the new resume I built. Not great yet, just struggling to figure out how to move between in-depth versus corporate jargon. You wrote it correctly. Like again, I think you wrote the how and the reason and result 100% correct. Going for a data engineer role, I think I'm ready for a senior role as I approach 5+ years. Yeah, you should definitely apply for senior. I've seen senior roles start at 2 to 3 years, and I've seen them start at 10 years. The word senior and junior and associate means nothing because each company is going to have a different version of it. So what would I rate this resume? I would rate this as a probably a 1 in 50 to a 1 in 70. It's just a little hard to find everything I need. I didn't find exactly enough stuff that I need, but you wrote the how you did it and the reason and result perfection. So again, this is not going to take you long to fix. You just need to plug and chug a couple of stuff, which is not most people's problems. But if anybody ever needs more help, they could always join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST at twitch.tv/headlestheadhunter. And I just want to thank you all for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing this with your friends and family, and my members who you can join in the link below for supporting this channel. You get access to videos a little bit early before anybody else, and I really, really appreciate you all. I could not do this without you. So really, truly thank you. And now we're going to the next resume. This is a IT technician or help desk. They're kind of the same thing. Some of this I will say there will be a divergent point in these qualifications where it's going to be like, are you working with mainly the computer and the software? Or are you working more with like printers and hardware? But for an IT support technician, what we're going to need is Microsoft OS, Linux, Android, or Windows, and whatever the number of Windows. Education, most of them prefer you have a high school or degree, and there are some certs like CompTIA that is a bonus. Customer service and troubleshooting and problem solving. These are massive. You need to show that you can talk to Bob, who has been yelling at you for the last 3 hours. I hope Bob does not yell at you because you cannot fix their computer and you have been trying to get them to turn the monitor on. That is going to be a part of your job. That is actually going to be about 80% of your job is fixing the bare bones basic, very, 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 very basic things. Unless you end up with me as your client, because somehow every single time I have an IT issue, I break everything and I don't know how. It's either solvable in 1 minute or the person takes 2 hours and like, I don't know how you did that. I had to learn 3 new documentations, Lee. I've had that happen multiple times and I am sorry for that happening. Networking, I don't need everything from this list. I just need some of it. So DNS, DHCP, TCP, VPN. Also, I don't yell at the person that is helping me. So that is something that at least is good. You should be nice to people. Do not be mean. Multitask, meet deadlines. The industry, again, this is where it's going to differ. Are you doing like printers? Are you doing hardware? Are you doing CRMs? Are you doing cloud? Are you doing LAN WAN? Jira, Microsoft Office 365, and Active Directory. Those are definitely needed. And again, a bonus for CompTIA, Microsoft Certified Desktop Support, and PowerShell. So 20 seconds to find these. And again, I do not know this person's ratio. Also, this is in Vancouver, but hopefully the qualifications are similar enough. So go. Okay, nothing here is needed. Where's your education? Okay, you got a degree. All right. Advance from crew member to crew trainer to area shift manager within 2 years, earning 3 promotions. This is nice, but not related. Kind of. Import McDonald's POS systems. Okay, good. Resolve transaction errors. Oh, good. Like that. And that is it. So, let me read what you wrote. There's some stuff I actually liked here. This is semi not related, right? Like, it doesn't really matter that you were a crew member or a trainer. What you can say is promoted to shift manager within 2 years. Well, here's the problem, right? Like, why is shift manager impressive? Also, how long have you been doing this? Because if you've done this in 2 years, that could be you've only have a couple of months experience in this. In addition, this is one of the greatest sins you can make. Hold on. Above everything else, I just caught this, which I would have probably if I was sick. If once sick, I would have caught it fast. Never, ever, 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 ever do this. Never, ever, ever. This one's fine. The last one's fine. Never, ever do this. The flaw in this is you do not show the months. You need the months any single time. In work experience, you don't need this under projects, but in work experience and internships, you need to show the month and the year. Because this could be, if you started in December of 2023, that is a full year's difference than starting in January of 2023. And if they see this without the month, they will think you are trying to hide something. So this is a giant critical error that you need to fix. So never, ever, 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 ever only include the year. Education, it's fine, you can do that, but not for the dates of employment. So that is a big no-no. All right, this is a tailored resume for IT support technician related roles. I stripped away my entire software engineering to completely align with these types of roles. We're wondering if this type of tailoring was any good. That is actually how you do it, is you tailor your resume to the job title you want, not the job itself. I was wondering if I'm currently trying to break into tech from retail and just looking for any kind of job stability. So I like your customer service stuff here. You actually wrote those correctly. My problem is I don't see enough stuff here, right? So again, you also mentioned POS multiple times. So operated and supported McDonald's POS systems, including registers, kiosks, payment terminals, and Clearview, is really good. And then you can say, but I would phrase this differently, right? Instead of all this, I'd say resolved transaction errors, device freezes, and order inconsistencies in McDonald's POS systems, such as X, Y, and Z, in real time. The thing is, the important thing is this stuff right here, right? This is the good stuff. So you want to put that first. But I actually like the idea behind this because that is good. That is something. The problem, though, is then you keep mentioning POS. You already mentioned POS up here. You don't need to mention it here. You don't need to mention it here. You don't need to mention it here. And again, you're okay. So I see sort of the problem with this resume. You're implying that you've got the skills rather than showing them, right? Like conducted end-to-day cash reconciliation. I don't care about that. From 2 tills, don't care. Match physical counts, don't care. Balancing floats to 150, irrelevant. Preparing deposits exceeding 1K a day, irrelevant. But logging verified totals in Excel with 0 reporting discrepancies is important because that shows you can work with Excel. My problem with this is you do in fact show that you can do customer service. I love that. You do in fact show that you can do troubleshooting and problem solving. My problem is here is I don't see where you've done any of the other type of stuff. And that's my issue. You may want to put in some projects here that show how you've done this. So if anything, you may want to show this into only 2 bullet points that show that you've worked and done the transaction errors for the POS, and then the maybe Excel But like my issue is I don't see the actual tech you need. But I do see the customer service. So I hope I'm not rambling. Again, I'm sick and my brain is mush right now. So hold on. I'm making sure I can say this right. To summarize, you show customer service and troubleshooting very well. I like it. Although you show it at the end of the bullet points when I want you to put it in the front part of the bullet points. My issue is I am missing the rest of the technical skills. You may want to shorten this to 2 bullet points only, maybe 3, and then have projects. Also, your education should be up here instead of this. And then have projects that show how you've done the networking, the individual industry, Jira, Office, Active Directory, that kind of stuff. So remember, education should go here. Summaries are not needed. And I need to know how you did this stuff. Because down here you only say POS and Excel, and I need more. That's not enough. I need more. But, and you can do English, Mandarin, and Cantonese. That's actually really good. So when you have multiple languages, under this little section, put it here, right? Just say fluent in, and then you can put it in there, which is above the cert section. Multiple languages are always good to have in your resume. Next, resume. This is a resume of a software engineer intern. So this person has a really bad resume. It's over 150 applications to 1 interview, and they did not tell me anything about it. So this is the only thing I have going for it right now. So what we need for an intern is the degree, a basic knowledge of the tech stack. So like language library, SQL Cloud, and maybe like a smidge of AI, and the ability to work well with others and take direction and criticism. If I do not see that, you will probably not be moved forward. So can I see this in 20 seconds? Probably not at all, because that's awful. All right, and go. Okay, don't care about that. This should be 1 line, but whatever. Built an LM chatbot. I don't care really too much about that. For 100 users, why do we care? Next.js is nice. Open router API, that's not what I'm looking for. PostgreSQL AM, not Redis. Enable real-time handling with 30% faster replies. Don't care about that. Amazon S3, you did not state it. All right, that would be a rejection. So this is what happens to a lot of interns, some of them. They end up getting 2 internships, right? Or 3, and they get good internships. And then what happens is they try to show how good they are because look how awesome and impressive this is. It is an AI-based VC startup internship. I'm amazing. And then they start writing their bullet points like this when they should have been writing them like, well, this or this closer, because the bottom ones are better than the top ones. So your big problem here is that this is a really nightmare to read, right? Remember, it should look like this. I don't care about your relevant coursework. None of that is relevant. It can be deleted. The education should be in 1 line. This should be not bolded in 1 line as well and italicized, all of that. And then we go down to here. And again, you're applying for a software engineer intern. AI is nice to have, but where is the basics of your tech stack? They are not going to move you forward if they don't see C# or Java or Python, or I guess would be JavaScript for front end as well. Where is that? I don't see it. You think I don't care about Next.js and React as much. I care about the basics, which you don't have. SQL is fine. Amazon S3. Well, just put AWS. Again, your entire resume is filled with how good you are, and this is why you're having problems. Because you cannot show how good you are through a resume. It is not designed for it. It's like trying to use your car as a refrigerator. It's just going to break the AC and your ice cream is going to melt. It doesn't make sense. So I need you to go back to the drawing board of this. And this one as well. These are actually not as good as I thought they were. But here, also bad. Yeah, these are bad bullet points. Yeah. So, like, where is your Python, your JavaScript, your Java, your HTML, your CSS? I did see React, the CI/CD, and I'm just going to look at it. Let's do Python. Where's Python? Nowhere in your resume except at the very bottom that people can't even see. That is the most important part, is that part of the tech stack. You are overthinking this. They're not rejecting you because you're not good enough. They're rejecting you because you show you don't meet the minimum qualifications, which is a basic knowledge of the tech stack, which you do not show. You show an advanced knowledge of the tech stack, but they're not looking for an advanced version. They're looking for the basics. Also, you should not have any numbers in this. Again, S3 is a different story. But I don't stop putting these 50% or 40% or 95% or 60%. All they're doing is hurting your chances of getting a job. The only people that want percentages and numbers in their bullet points are managers, and I'm including project and product in there as well, or people in sales. Even if you're an accountant, you still don't want it. If you're a data analyst, you still don't want it. Unless you're in a leadership role, you don't want to put numbers, or sales. Sales people do in fact need those numbers. They do need to brag. There is a slight difference in how sales resumes work. But for everybody else, 300 plus campers, nobody cares. And I'm not trying to be mean when I say that. I'm just saying, like, this is not relevant. Like, you cannot give somebody something that has nothing they want. Like, it would be like going to a restaurant and ordering a hamburger and they bring you a hot dog. Like, yeah, they're both have buns, both have meat, both can include ketchup and mustard and mayo and pickles. But that's not what you're asking for. You're asking for a hamburger and they gave you a hot dog. And this entire resume is filled with hot dogs. I hope that made sense. My brain is tired, but this is a bad resume because of that. And I imagine what happens is, after you've got a couple of these really, really cool internships, which admittedly, these are really cool internships right here, is you then changed everything to show how good you are, which is leading to your problems. Next resume. This person stated a data engineer or data analyst. No. Those are two different jobs. If you make one resume for both of those jobs, you will get rejected for both of those jobs. So, since we already did a data engineer, I'm going to make this as if it was a data analyst. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. So, for a data analyst, what we need, that is a data analyst, right? That's what they say. Data engineer / analyst. Yeah, you have to pick one, bro. All right, so degree, industry, SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker, influencing stakeholders, explaining technical concepts to non-technical stakeholders, how you solved a problem with data, not what the data is, MS Excel, macro, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, ETL, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, and nice to have Cloud AI. So yes, there is some overlap between a data engineer and a data analyst, but these are separate jobs and you need separate resumes for each. So this is a very bad resume. It has over 150 applications to get a single interview. Let me see if I can find what I need in 20 seconds, which I can't because it's a bad resume. That's what that ratio usually implies. Oh my gosh, I haven't even started yet. This is bad font, bro. Okay, so, and go. Okay, can't use anything here. Where's your education? All the way to down there. Okay, good. You got it. College internship. Designed and implemented data validation frameworks in Snowflake. Improving multi-surf. I don't care about that. Conducted error rate. Nothing here is related. Built-in monitoring scripts. Nothing there matters. Nothing there matters. Oh, then nothing here matters. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't even. There's nothing here that is related. Let me read what you wrote. But even for a data engineer, none of this is related. The Snowflake is. But the rest of it really isn't. You have almost zero of the qualifications. I'm an international student. I worked in India for almost 5 years as a data engineer and business intelligence developer, specializing in ETL. Where is the ETL? I don't even see the ETL. Tools and data visualization along with cloud and deployment. It was my grandpa's wish to pursue higher education in 2023. I took a shot and left my job and came to the U.S. for my master's. Ever since I applied for almost 350 internships and almost 850 jobs, out of which I got only 3 calls. Yeah, that is because of referrals. I'm still looking for a job, but I think I'm missing something in your resume. Help me understand, Sensei. Thank you. I've not actually ever been called Sensei before. So yeah, your problem is you don't show anything. Like this entire resume is almost blank. So I saw nothing involving data analyst, which I'm now going to switch to the data engineer because it actually sounds like you're more of a data engineer than a data analyst. But let me see. Let me go back to that. We did that in the beginning. So This is not good, right? Like, you can copy paste these real quick or pause the video, but let's show again this. Like, you say you specialize in ETL or ELT, either one is fine. And then let's remove this, right? Let's remove this. Where is that? I'm going to control F, ETL. And again, doesn't count because it's up there, all the way down there. Okay, that is fine. So where is the Python? Where is the Scala? Where is, I think you said one or two things about data, right? Data engineer, blah, 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 there. Data validation is fine. Where's the algorithms? Where's the SQL? Where's the big data? Where's the cloud? Where's the data models, data lakes? Maybe data validation counts. Snow, I did find. That was good. You had Snow, you had that. Where's the ability to manage and communicate technical data plans to non-technical people? Where was the industry? The fact is, this entire paper is almost entirely blank. There is nothing I need in almost any of this. This is completely irrelevant. This has Snowflake. And then you start doing it. So your first sentence is barely acceptable, right? And then conducted error rate and analysis increasing integrity for process, that means nothing. That means nothing. Built and monitored scripts to scan 300,000 views or whatever, reducing analyst validation. Why? That's not relevant. I will challenge you, right? I will challenge you as your sensei. I want you to look at a job description for both data analyst and then for data engineers and find anything that remotely says we need you to build monitoring scripts to scan 3,000 views for inconsistencies. If you do not have a reducing analyst validation time of 20% at a minimum, you will not be considered. Nobody has that because that's not related. That is a hot dog, right? And I'm looking for hamburgers. Collaborated with data scientists how? To surface anomalies? What does that mean? Streamline down data flows. None of that is relevant. Your first sentence is the only thing that actually has anything semi-relevant. And then we go down here. Only end-to-end integration and production support for global databases exceeding 10 TB. Why is that related? Securing data for finance. Nothing is that related. They're going to get all the way down to here, and they're going to stop even if they have time. Design a robust ETL pipeline. Don't say robust, just say ETL. And validation perimeters. Fine. That's actually something I'm looking for. Reducing load times from, I don't care. Why does that matter? Right? Then maybe the rest of that is... this doesn't matter. Improving reliability for daily business reporting is fine. But also, it's not. Now that I'm thinking about what is reliability reporting? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Model transactional behavior data to uncover 10 million blah, 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 not related. Led the implementation of data errors, not related. Mentored 3 junior analysts on data modeling, code reviews, and production support. That one's actually okay because that shows you can teach people stuff, which does imply that you can communicate non-technical, technical things to non-technical. The problem is you didn't tell me what you really taught them in the hard ones, like what part of data modeling, what part of code reviews, and what production support. It should be one of these that you tutor them in. So you're having issues because your resume is blank. Like, I understand that, but like none of the stuff that I have highlighted or scratched out in black matters. And you don't show that you have these qualifications for a data engineer, right? We switched to that. So the previous one was analyst. This was engineer. So I don't see anything related to being a data engineer besides ETL and Snow and maybe the tutoring if I'm being generous. But as an international, you can't rely on that. I even go down here into the next one, right? I'm even looking at this. I'm reading your full resume, which nobody is going to do, to be clear. And nothing here is related. Nothing here is related. Nothing here is related. Yeah, this is too broad to be under that. So nothing here. So you only have one sentence in your resume that kind of contains what I need. So this is why you're having problems. And again, I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying you're bad. You're probably a super smart person. You're probably smarter than me, but this is not how you write a resume. I need you to go back. I need you to delete literally all of this, and I need you to make 2 resumes for me. I need you to make one that is focused entirely and only on data engineering, and then I need you to make another that is focused entirely and only on data analyst, because I have gotten international people data analyst jobs before, and maybe data engineers. I just don't get a ton of data engineers. Recently, I've started to get more. And that is their problem. Like the good data analyst resumes and data engineer resumes, they're boring, they're basic, because that is what a resume should be. It should look like this. It should be this boring and basic. I don't care that you have a master's. This is what you need it to look like. And I need you to have the actual bullet points, because none of these are related to the roles. You cannot imply, right? Like, there's a huge role. I will look at you all again. I don't care if I repeated this before. You can never imply you know something. You have to show it directly. If you do not show it, it is implied that you do not have it. And based on this resume, it is implied that you have none of the qualifications that they're looking for besides snow, maybe ETL, but no one's going to read that far down. And if I'm being charitable, communicate data plans. So that is all I could do for this one. Let's go to the next one. This is a resume of a systems administrator. Their ratio is not good. Let's see. So this is, I think, their updated resume. I will read their note after. So what we need for a systems admin is Linux, Mac, or Windows, cloud, DNS, DHCP, TCP, IP, VPN, managing the system and hardware and software and automating tasks. I don't know why I can't say that. Active Directory, infrastructure as code, IAC. Also, you have to write it exactly like that. You need to put infrastructure as code and then put in parentheses IAC. And then for the rest of it, you can put in IAC when you need to. Office 365, troubleshooting, multitasking, Python, API, CCD, Bash, PowerShell, and a ticketing system such as Jira and ISO. So 20 seconds to find it. Let's see what I can do. And go. Okay, too much here, but still you have at least some of the degrees. Design multiple unified dashboards of all major collection operation using Microsoft Project, Visio, Excel, Jira. Okay, reported to senior leadership to comprehensive presentations. Okay, I see where the problem is. Communicate daily with external vendors. Outlook is okay. Design project lead for Purview at a medium-sized company. Right, so you don't show the right qualifications. This is a case where you're kind of implying it and not showing it. So had an even worse version. I watched your stream and made significant overhaul. Pretty confident this will yield well. It's not the worst. Like, again, this is not Garbo. It's just there's some flaws here. I would like to do cyber, but the market is really terrible. So I'm pivoting to IT for the time. I feel like I'm punching up with more experience in administrative leadership and managerial. Yeah. Than technical. I want to do more system admin work to get the technical to become an IT manager. Okay. So here's what we need to do. One, this is almost split between a help desk and a system administrator, which there's quite a lot of overlap between those two jobs. So one is, I don't know if the comp TIs are necessary for this. For a help desk, they are, but I don't know if these are. And then, let's see, you have a bachelor's, and then you have the master's here. So you do have that graduated. The problem is there's too much stuff here. So if you do anything, I would probably cancel this one out. Keep the rest of it, and then try to crunch these together into one bullet point, so that way you have 3 max, and that saves time. It's a little arrow and a person, so there's a little hello, and I'm making a little face. All right, I got distracted. Then we go down to here, and part of the problem with this is the order of the operations of this, and just the overall lack of some of the technical qualifications. So designed multiple unified dashboards of all major classified operations at the company using Microsoft Project, which isn't actually necessarily something we need. Yeah, Microsoft Project, Excel, Visio. Again, these are not something I'd really need for specifically a systems administrator. PowerPoint, don't really care about as much. But Jira, I do, and other. So the problem is you only really have one thing that is related in this, and the rest of that sentence doesn't really matter. Yeah. And then reported to senior leadership through comprehensive presentations for both IT. You did not tell me the reason or result of this. This is, you need the, I don't know what that is. You need the, I'm getting too lost in making pictures. You need the reason and result for this. You don't actually tell me. And again, that's only one keyword. You need a minimum of 3 in each, especially because you've only been there for less than 2 years. communicated with vendors through Microsoft Teams and Outlook. Again, this is not what they're really looking for. This reads, I think my big problem with this resume is it reads more like a IT support help desk than it does a systems administrator. Because a lot of these things would actually work for being a help desk, but you are not looking to be a help desk, you are looking to be a systems admin. And those are different jobs. They require different qualifications. Again, this has nothing that I need. Creative and documentation. Again, this is not what I'm looking for. Documentation could be, but again, it's not about the related stuff. Supervisor team of operators, the company's greater. Again, nothing. Azure AD could be cloud, so that's good. And nothing. So my problem is I just don't see it. Like, I don't see your qualifications here. So here's the actual systems admin stuff down here. Again, this part gives me not enough context. Windows servers, okay, good. Yeah, that's fine. That's a good sentence. Again, I think this should be in the first half of the sentence rather than the end of it, but that still works. This doesn't tell me what you did enough. That doesn't do anything. Hardware troubleshooting. Okay, good. This is your first, like, here's the first time I see troubleshooting is almost already on the second page. But this is good through remote log site. This is a perfect sentence. This is like your best sentence here. I love this one. Giant good. It is very good. I like this one. All right, I agree. That's a the rest of that though, this doesn't matter. This one might matter. So yeah, like that's my problem is you just don't show any of these. Like it doesn't matter that you supervise a team of operators for DLP specialization. It matters that you've DNS, TCP, and you've troubleshot and used Python, Bash, and PowerShell. Like that's my main issue is I just don't see it. I don't see anything that is related to the qualifications. I think you have an okay for a help desk for this, but not specifically for a systems administrator. So formatting wise, only a couple of errors. Again, I think you just need to crunch up the education section. But the entire purpose of the formatting is so that I could go further on in the resume. And the problem is there's just nothing that is relevant to a systems admin until we get to all the way down here. And that's way too long. So that's all I can do, but this person is in my Twitch chat, so I'm going to help them out a little bit more, which, if anybody ever wants to join, it's twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter. The link is below, and that is where I get these keywords from and do a little bit more help, and I'm a little more chill on that one, because this is more like I want to make sure the help is condensed. And I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST until, well, usually only for about 2 to 3 hours max. Sometimes longer, sometimes shorter. And I want to thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it, watching me be sick and review these. I thank you very much. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And to all of my members who get access to the videos a little bit early, I do appreciate you giving the $5 a month to support the channel. I know it may not sound like a lot, but it means a lot to me because I know that times are tough and that $5, even if it's just the cup of a coffee, can mean something to somebody. So thank you very much for doing that. And I will see you all in the next video, which hopefully I will not be this sick and my normal voice will be back because I've dropped down a couple of octaves. So I will see you all then in the next video. Later.